Training is for our outreach and call center staff scheduling medical visits for our clinicians using Doxy. So first, of course, when I'm on the phone with the patient, I'm going to schedule them the telephone visit or the virtual visit with the provider. So right now, for just this purpose, I'm using Dr. Austin. I'm going to schedule an 8 a.m. And you're going to want to make sure that you either use the virtual established patient visit type or the virtual new patient, depending on the type of patient you have on the phone. For ease of the training, I'm just going to use an established patient. And I'm going to look up a patient. For this, I'm just going to use a test. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Oops. Make sure you select your service location, and again, this should be where the clinician normally practices based on their schedule. So this is a Tuesday, so Dr. Austin doesn't see any patients, but I'm just going to set it for FMC, but she sees patients at FMC and at Baldwin, so you'll have to pay attention to what day it is and where she normally sees patients on that day. So I'm just going to set it for FMC, and I'm going to hit OK. At this point, I would hang up with the patient, tell them that their appointment is scheduled, and that they will get a link that they should use when it's time for their appointment. I would stress that it's very important that they don't click on the link until the time of their appointment. So I would tell the patient, please don't click on that link until 8 a.m. Because that is when the clinician will be ready to see you. If it is a new patient and you need to do registration, you can tell them that a CMRS staff may be calling them, reaching out a little bit before their visit time to get all of the intake paperwork completed. But if it's an established, then the clinician shouldn't reach out until the time of the appointment, and so they shouldn't use that link until then. I am then going to log into my Doxy account. So I'm going to type in honor.doxy.me up in the and I'll show you what that looks like when you type that in initially. So it's going to come up with this screen. You're going to come up here to the top right hand corner and hit provider login and use your login that you have to get into your specific location or wherever your clinician is, and you will have all of that login information. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. I'm just signing into the admin right now. You're going to want to make sure that you send out this honor.doxy.me/waiting room hyperlink. Some of the rooms have a different one starting out. So if there's a drop down, you're going to want to hit that drop down and make sure this is the one you're selecting. This will allow all of our patients to be dropped into one waiting room and have the clinicians be able to go from there and choose their clinician choose their patient from that waiting room so that we can use all of the rooms at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and if I'm using email and I'm sending from my virtual side email, then I'm going to want to copy this link and paste it into my virtual side Outlook and send that over to the patient. If I use Outlook outside of virtual, you can just email straight from here. The way that I would say is the preferred way or going to be the easiest way is a text message to the patient if at all possible. You would just type in the patient's cell phone number here, tell them that they'll get that link again to not click on it until the time of the visit. But most likely you won't be on the phone with the patient at this time just because it's going to take so long. So this is what the patient will get if you just want to let them know when you're initially making the appointment earlier on. You'll send that message and it will show up in their text messages. So I'm going to go ahead and log out. And now my front desk at each location will be responsible for checking in and verifying insurances. So as my registration staff or my outreach staff, your part of all of this training is over.